Let us now open the official conference proceedings. I'm pleased to honor to welcome Her Excellency Dr. Manal Awad, Minister of Local Development and Acting Minister of Environment, which is today leading an ambitious national path towards decentralization and local economic development and lays the institutional foundation for the next phase of the program. Please, ma'am, have the floor.
Your Excellency Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Your Excellencies, the Ministers and Governors, international development partners, civil society, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me pleasure to welcome you to this important national event to inaugurate the Local Administration Reform and Empowerment Forum. Lessons from UELDP experience. This great achievement we are witnessing today wouldn't have been attained without the directives of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his keenness on enhancing development in all governorates, in particular the areas that have suffered from setbacks for decades. It was not possible also without the efforts of the ministers and the former governors and the current governors who cooperated under the leadership of His Excellency the Prime Minister to secure achieving development and achieving a concrete impact on the ground. I would like also to extend thanks and appreciation to all our development partners who contributed to supporting the implementation of UELDP, on top of which is the World Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, holding this event today is not just an occasion to celebrate the first phase of the UELDP, but it is a strategic stop to assess achievements and to learn from the lessons learned, as well as put the future plans that would seek to implement this practical experience and turn it into national policies to secure optimum benefit from the experiences learned, as well as streamlining them in all governorates to build the capacities for development. The UELDP was a national unprecedented experience, as there was political support from the highest level of leadership with effective collaboration with international organization development partners, as well as central and decentral institutions based on accountability, transparency, community participation and decision making. Through this formula, we have now an experience that proves that the empowerment of local administration is the key to achieving socio-economic development and improving the quality of public services, and it is the real tool to translate strategic directives of the state into concrete steps on ground. And the program has witnessed great development in supporting socio-economic development through developing industrial parks and clusters, as well as supporting economic clusters, and encourage the participation of the private sector in the management of industrial zones, as the occupancy rate of industrial zones has achieved record numbers, as well as improving public services, and it serves 3.8 million citizens, as well as creating 193,000 direct and indirect job opportunities. I would like to refer to the fact that UELDP enabled us to develop a system for impact measurement as well as key performance indicators, and this led to improving the services provided to the citizen. We find that the citizen satisfaction has exceeded 80% in a number of governorates, and the employers has a satisfaction average that reaches 85%, and the industrial zones had witnessed high occupancy rate, and this reflects the impact of this program in encouraging industrial activities as well as improving the quality of life for millions of citizens. UELDP has become now a role model at the national and international levels, as UN has included it as the most prominent programs of domesticating sustainable development, and the World Bank commended it as an opportunity to enable the local administration units to play their role in leading development as well as achieving socio-economic sustainable development. And the program is now a strong basis for the coming future, during which we will seek to apply institutional reforms as well as the best local development and administration practices in different governorates, especially those who need further development, to achieve integration between socio-economic service aspects. At the end of my speech, I would like to extend deep thanks and appreciation to His Excellency, the Prime Minister, for our continuous support to UELDP and holding this event under his patronage. I would like also to extend thanks to all current ministers, governors, as well as the previous ministers and governors, and I look forward to implementing this role model in other governorates. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency Dr. Manal Awad, Minister of Local Development and Acting Minister of Environment, for these inspiring words that have provided us with a comprehensive and a clear vision of the efforts of the Ministry and the Egyptian government in advancing the development process, enhancing efficiency of local administration, and supporting the shift towards more sustainable and inclusive policies, as well as highlighting the pivotal role played by the Upper Egypt Local Development Program in this context. Now, we'd like to give the floor to Mr. Stefan Gimbert, Regional Director for Egypt, Yemen, and Djibouti for the Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan, and Pakistan region at the World Bank, the key partner in this experience since it has begun, whose technical support has played a key role in transforming the program into a leading international model to be followed in the areas of local reform and spatial economic development. Please, sir, have the floor.
Your Excellency Prime Minister, distinguished ministers, governors, esteemed colleagues, partners from the development community and the private sector, Sabah al-Khair. Last year I visited Kenya. I met Khadija. She was just shy of the age where you can register your own business. So she worked for her mother, Aziza. But you could tell from her eyes, she was beaming with ideas and ambition. She wanted to create a business. She showed me sketches for a brand, Dija, a line of elegant women's wear, and I'm pretty sure one of the images we saw in the movie was actually from her. This moment captured for me what this program is all about, unlocking potential and turning dreams into jobs. When power moves closer to people, development stops being a promise and becomes a reality. So it's a great honor to be here today and celebrate the achievements of the Upper Egypt Local Development Program, and more importantly, celebrate Egypt's progress in charting a path toward a more decentralized service delivery and local development. This transformation reflects the vision and leadership of many. As the Minister mentioned, I would like to thank in particular the UK for their partnerships and financial support. Without your support, we wouldn't have been able to hold this celebration. I would like to commend the government of Egypt for bringing together national leadership, local authorities, development partners, and the private sector. Thank you to you, the Ministry of Local Development, to the Ministry of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, to the Ministry of Finance, to the Ministry of Industry, and I see many other ministers joining us today. And of course, thank you to the governors. I was going to list a couple of achievements from the program, but I think you saw quite a lot which are really impressive. Thousands of jobs created, especially for youth and women, jobs that changed lives, like Khadija's future business. Industrial zones like Keft, which double occupancy, now employing over 5,000 people. Business procedures that were streamlined and digitalized, turning informal work into formal opportunity. And I should have mentioned one more, perhaps less tangible, but institutions that have been put in place and systems for better planning and maintaining local infrastructure. These are also promises for the future. Now, around the world, government gets asked about the value of debt. And this program, I think, answers the question. Borrowing strategically is not a cost, it's an investment. Every dollar leveraged in this program has delivered better infrastructure, stronger local economies, and thousands of jobs. That's value that lasts. So congratulations on completing this first phase. And as the minister was already looking toward the next phase, so what's next? Imagine cruise ships moving north of Luxor, cruising to Minya and Asyut, tourists exploring the Dendera temple, local businesses thriving. Imagine governors empowered to deliver for their communities. Imagine a business environment, infrastructure, industrial zones conducive for private sector. Opportunities, scale, jobs for all. That's the next chapter, and I think it's within reach. Egypt's new economic narrative is all about inclusive growth, private sector dynamism, and opportunity for all. The Upper Egypt Local Development Program proves that this narrative is real. Our task ahead is clear: scale what works, deepen what delivers, and ensure every Egyptian, especially youth and women, can access the opportunities they deserve. The World Bank is committed to this partnership. Together, we can turn local potential into national prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stéphane Guelbert, for this supporting word, as well as highlighting the great achievements that could be accomplished when the Egyptian government cooperates with the international development partners. And the fruit of this cooperation and the concrete steps attained on ground. Talking about the Egyptian partnership with international organizations, we are glad that we have with us the ambassador of UK, Mr. Mark Richardson, whose country played an important role in cooperating with the Egyptian government to implement a number of pioneer reforms as part of the UELDP. The floor is yours, Mr. Ambassador.
Your Excellency, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, distinguished ministers, governors, development partners, private sector representatives, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to join you today, and let me begin by thanking His Excellency the Prime Minister for his leadership and patronage. I also want to recognize the commitment of everyone here, government officials, development partners, private sector representatives, who have worked tirelessly to advance the decentralization and local development agenda. The government of Egypt deserves great credit for driving decentralization and empowering local administrations. These are critical steps towards inclusive growth and balanced regional development, objectives that resonate strongly with Egypt's Vision 2030 and with the UK's own experience in promoting regional equity. Today's event is a pivotal moment, not only a celebration of what has been achieved under the programme, but also a platform to define the roadmap for scaling these reforms nationwide. The lessons learned here will shape the next phase of decentralisation and local economic development, ensuring that progress reaches every community. The Upper Egypt Local Development Programme has delivered remarkable results. Thousands of municipal projects have improved infrastructure and services, benefiting millions of citizens across Sahag, Kenina, Minya and Asyut. Tens of thousands of businesses have been supported, fostering competitiveness and creating jobs in regions that needed them most. These achievements show that the programme is not only about infrastructure, it is a model for strengthening governance, promoting fiscal equity, reducing disparities between richer and poorer regions, and driving local economic development aligned with Egypt's Vision 2030. The UK is proud to have been a long-standing partner in this journey. Through the Strategic Partnership for Egypt's Inclusive Growth, our flagship bilateral programme, we've worked hand in hand with the Government of Egypt and the World Bank to deliver technical assistance and policy support. And since its launch in 2017, the programme has provided over £30 million in technical assistance grants and supported priority areas such as economic resilience and competitiveness, social protection and inclusion, and climate action. We have provided targeted support in investment planning, cluster competitiveness, and citizen engagement. We've contributed to the development of a climate action plan for Luxor and an urban regeneration framework for Sahag. And we have helped advance fiscal decentralisation reforms and formula-based allocations, innovations that reflect international best practice and Egypt's own ambition for reform. These interventions matter because they strengthen governance and accountability, empower local authorities, and create the conditions for sustainable economic growth. They also reflect principles that the UK shares: fairness, transparency, and inclusion. And in many ways, the Upper Egypt Local Development Programme mirrors approaches we have adopted in the UK, such as our Levelling Up agenda, which seeks to reduce regional disparities through integrated investment in infrastructure, skills, and local economic development, and our performance-linked funding models, which incentivise better outcomes for communities. In July this year, we announced our intention to upgrade our relationship into a strategic partnership. We hope this will soon be reflected in a formal agreement that sets an ambitious pathway on everything from renewable energy and green growth to economic resilience and shared security. A key component of that partnership will be continued support to Egypt's economic development, providing targeted technical assistance to bolster competitiveness and resilience, and ensuring that reform goes hand in hand with social protection for the most vulnerable. Just a few months ago, my predecessor had the privilege of joining His Excellency the Prime Minister and ministers to celebrate 10 years of Takaful and Karama programme, another milestone in our long-standing cooperation. In closing, let me reaffirm that the UK is proud to have been a trusted partner in Egypt's journey towards decentralisation and inclusive local development. We stand ready to deepen this strategic partnership, working hand in hand to sustain reforms and advance new areas of collaboration for the benefit of all Egyptians. Thank you very much for letting us be part of it. Thank you.
شكرا معالي السفير على دعمكم وعلى حضوركم وهذه النقاط المهمة عن أهمية قوة الشراكة بين مصر والمملكة المتحدة في تعزيز جهود التنمية المحلية. فقد أسهم هذا التعاون في تنفيذ مشروعات البرنامج في صعيد مصر بشكل ملموس في تحسين جودة الخدمات وتعزيز القدرات الاقتصادية للمجتمعات المحلية وتطوير التكتلات الاقتصادية بما يخدم رؤية مصر للتنمية المستدامة والشاملة. الآن السيدات والسادة ندعو حضراتكم لمشاهدة فيديو قصير يسلط الضوء على أبرز نجاحات برنامج التنمية المحلية.
A short video about the ULEDP and what we have achieved in reality.
الصعيد تم تصميمه ليكون إرث من التأثير والتمكين والتوسع والتمويل والاستدامة. المرحلة اللي بنختتمها هي ليست نهاية، بس هي محطة أولى في رحلة مستمرة من العمل وتطوير والبناء. أنا فخور للغاية طبعا إني كنت جزء من فريق العمل اللي أسهم في تصميم وتنفيذ هذا البرنامج.
Three things stand out for me in ULTB. First, it's a program that combined strong emphasis on strengthening competitiveness on the one hand, and on the other hand, strengthening services and infrastructure in the governorates. Secondly, it's a program that inverted the pyramid on how funds flow normally in the Egyptian context by empowering governorates to meet the investment priorities according to their needs and their priorities. And third, it's a program that put citizens also in the driver's seat.
Assalamu alaikum wa alf mabruk al-mashru'. It has been one of the highlights of my career to be able to support the residents of Upper Egypt, the government officials in Upper Egypt and in the national government to come up with what was a really frontier program. Bringing together a focus on institutional performance, inclusive economic development, and doing it in a way that empowers subnational authorities.
شرف كبير لأن أنا كنت أحد أفراد فريق العمل اللي ساهموا في تنفيذ مشروع التنمية المحلية لصعيد مصر. الدور القيادي اللي قام بيه الساده المحافظين وكل الزملاء في الاداره المحليه في الحقيقه كان دور اكثر من رائع، وكان احد الركائز الرئيسيه لنجاح المشروع. السياسات كمان اللي تم تنفيذها وتجربتها في برنامج الصعيد وتم تعميمها بعد كده على بقيه المحافظات اعتقد كانت في غايه الاهميه، بالذات الاصلاحات اللي معنيه بتطوير الاداره المحليه وتطوير منظومه التخطيط. أنا في الحقيقة حاليا بنتهي من تصميم مشروع جديد هيتم تنفيذه في آسيا الوسطى، وفي الحقيقة المشروع متصمم حوالين الدروس المستفادة اللي تم تجربتها في الصعيد. فاللي أقدر أقول إن المشروع مش بس كان فاد مصر، ولكن في الحقيقة دلوقتي بيفيد دول كتيرة بتتعلم من البرنامج الناجح اللي نفذته مصر.
One story I have that stands out is about how the program coordination office handled citizen feedback effectively. During a site visit to one of the new markets that was being implemented under the program, people we met on the ground shared their thoughts. And the program office didn't hesitate. Dr. Hisham and his team actually set up an on-site meeting right away, bringing everyone together to talk through possible improvements. It was a great example of how responsive and committed the team is in making a real difference.
I wanted to congratulate the amazing Egypt team for the achievement and the impact you've had on the ground. Decentralization, the empowerment of local communities is a critical piece of inclusive and sustainable economic growth. It's been a privilege to work with such a passionate and committed team.
فخورة جدا برؤية ثمار 10 سنوات من التفاني والعمل الجاد بذلته الحكومة المصرية في تنمية صعيد مصر. من المطمئن والمشجع أن نرى كيف انتقلت الإدارة المحلية إلى تولي مسؤولية التخطيط الاقتصادي على مستوى المحافظات وتعمل بوضوح على تحديد الصناعات والتكتلات الاقتصادية الأنسب لكل محافظة بما يتلائم مع مواردها وإمكانياتها الفعلية. ومن المشرف أن هذه الرؤية بدأت بالفعل تترجم إلى نتائج ملحوظة على الأرض.
Assalamu alaikum. What is unique about the Upper Egypt program is that it provides sources to subnational governments to invest in local economic development through a very innovative approach.
What struck me most about the program was the dedicated and talented government team behind its implementation. My heartfelt congratulations to all of you for completing this innovative and impactful program.
We thank the World Bank Group for this inspiring video, which has highlighted the most prominent successes of the Upper Egypt Local Development Program and its tangible impact on the ground. Now, we would like to welcome His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Kojak, the Minister of Finance, whose ministry has played a vital role in that has led to laying the foundations of the modern financial administration. Please, sir, have the floor. Good morning, everyone. Thanks a lot for your kind invitation. And I believe that this is an opportunity to talk about this long-term project that has included efforts of Dr. Ahmed Moaid, whom we would like to welcome today. Your Excellency Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Your Excellencies Ministers, Governors, partners from the World Bank, UK, ladies and gentlemen, I have actually a paper in front of me, but instead I would like to talk from my heart to you. This project I have witnessed since I have joined the Ministry of Finance as Deputy Minister, and it was just an idea, and now I can see it upon its end and evaluation, and it's very good to have the lessons learned from the project to be applied in the future. This is a very good approach. I would like to say certain specific points about this project. You may now see the results and the outcome, but this was the result of efforts over many years, a way of the money or the funds, because we have invested more than 12 billion dollars. But as a matter of fact, what's more important than funds is the effort exerted and the follow-up that was made. It wasn't mentioned that there were dozens of meetings under the leadership of His Excellency Prime Minister, hundreds of projects for follow-up at different ministries level, in addition to a lot of communications. I really see that this project has a very important outcome, which is building the institutional capacities. We now have the governor of one of the most important governorates that has benefited from this project. We have a very clear model of people who can be able to manage different projects for the sake of the local development. We are talking about the localization of development development. So this is an example of how we can localize development. This has been achieved by complete partnership with those who are the most close to our communities, who are the governors, the local communities. Communication was made, projects were developed upon consultation with them and as per their own priorities. There are many things that can have been done, but we were actually limited by the funds available. And this project has taken some time. In the beginning I said that this is taking a long time, but as a matter of fact this was an important review in order to identify the priorities. So yes, we may have taken some time in the beginning, but I believe the outcomes that we have reached are very tangible nowadays. And I believe in the future this would be a good example and model to be replicated. Also another important point is real partnership between the private sector and the public sector, regardless of who is representing the government in this regard. What you are seeing today in terms of developing the industrial clusters and the development of services was done based on full partnership with the private sector and the local communities. And by the end, it was not only about spending money on the industrial development, but the occupancy rate has also increased, because you may spend a lot of money but without any increase or reflection in the occupancy. So this indicates that we are cooperating together in order to establish an industrial zone for the sake and benefit of the investors. Therefore, we have to put in mind their needs and priorities. A third important point, this project has really helped us build institutional capacities. The World Bank has helped us to a great degree, but those who managed this project was Mr. Hisham and his colleagues, with the full support of different ministers, including the Ministry of Local Development, because they used to host us at their own headquarters for follow-up. And now they have the candidates whom we can use their efforts in the future. This project was an example of full cooperation and coordination among different parties, and it didn't face any kind of dispute. So I would like to congratulate you all, and hopefully this would be a beginning for future projects. In conclusion, I would like to say that based on this project, and I believe this is actually something that has been already done, because, and I'm here talking about the lessons learned to be replicated at the different government rates. Also, decentralization and resource development are two of the key outcomes of this project. And now we have a mutual committee or a joint committee, and it is studying different topics for decentralization and development of resources, because this is the most important thing for us in the future, to make resources available for municipalities and local communities in different government rates to be able to serve the people better. So hopefully very soon we are going to announce a fully integrated vision about this, and thanks again for your kind invitation and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Minister of Finance, Dr. Ahmed Kujuk, for this speech that emphasized the continuation of the commitment of the government to develop fiscal local administration, as well as expanding the partnerships, so that the governorates would be able to do better planning as well as improving the services. Now we'll move on to the speech of Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, the Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, whose contributions played an important role in developing the pathway of the project to be in line with Egypt's Vision 2030 and enhance international partnerships and turn the outcomes of the project into sustainable government policies since she adopted this process. Thank you. The floor is yours, Dr. Rania. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Good morning, everybody. Your Excellency Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Your Excellencies, Ministers, Governors, all our development and international partners, be it the World Bank or all the UN task forces and teams that contributed to this project. I will follow into the footsteps of the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ahmed Kujuk, and speak from heart and not from paper. This program, UELDP, started in 2016 with national important priorities. We all know that Upper Egypt is one of the places that needed mostly development, and recently and since then we have been focusing on it, whether we're talking about a decent life project. More than 40% of the beneficiaries are from Upper Egypt, and what distinguishes UELDP is some aspects related to our relation with the international community and how there was integration between foreign finance and national finance. World Bank is one of the biggest development partners for Egypt. When we start any new program, we do diagnosis with through the close links between us and the World Bank. We have a number of projects, and all these programs are not drafted according to the economic dimension only, but according to a lot of reports and a lot of studies that are conducted beforehand. These studies and reports are based on the national approaches and the national goals. As the minister said, since this program started, it had a number of objectives, and by time things changed a bit due to a number of challenges. The Prime Minister, when he found these challenges, held a coordinating committee presided over by himself, and this committee played an important role in turning us from weak implementation into an accelerated implementation for the project, and the national resources were incompatibility with the international resources to enable us to achieve the goals and objectives of this program. Another very important point I need to mention when we talk about designing or the reform of the international financial system, it is always said that the multilateral banks cannot work with other institutions in different countries to maximize benefit. Egypt is considered to be an important platform for international cooperation with all partners. This can be seen not only through UELDP but also through the Universal Health Coverage Program, and we attended yesterday an event for it, in addition to Takaful and Karama program. All these are programs that do not help only Egypt, but it enables us to streamline and scale it up. But the foundation is coordination and cooperation with different international organizations working in Egypt. We'd like to extend thanks to the UK for continuous support through the technical assistance funds. We'd like to thank UNDP and UN Habitat for participating in UELDP in particular, and their contributions in the different governorates. When we attend meetings abroad, there is a word that's always used: global public goods. And it is always said that the institutions need to give impetus to implementing these goods in different countries. And we, as emerging countries and as developing countries, always say that any cost and any investments spent on these goods and benefits in Egypt adds up to the international public goods. So we need to increase the fiscal space in these institutions for development programs in our different countries. The other important point I need to mention, and you might have attended with us, launching the national economic narrative in September. There was a whole chapter in the narrative about regional planning and domesticating the economic development goals. And this chapter narrates how this program UELDP did not have only an impact on increasing competitiveness, but it also showed how the map of competitiveness of different governorates became very important. The industrial clusters played an important role, and we, along with all our ministers, are in the industrial development group, and this helps us in providing facilities and utilities to different industrial zones. I would like to thank the governors also for their efforts, because they did a lot in supporting the introduction of the private sector and the partnership between the public and private sector in a number of aspects. Another very important point, there is a question that is always raised: how does this serve the citizen by the end of the day? And if we receive funding from abroad, how does this serve the citizen? I think that this program responds to this question, designing programs, integration between national finance and international funding, as well as technical assistance, institutional support, are all very important elements that contribute to such programs like UELDP. I would like to wrap up by saying two things. The first, that the fiscal law and the local development law is very important. Both laws are working on the medium-term budgeting framework, and the medium-term budgeting framework discusses how the local administration and the local units can benefit from the financial resources through decentralization. Another very important aspect, laws and legislations contribute also to the growth poles, and this is another point that we will focus on in the near future. When we come to look at the topic of our event today, the lessons learned, some of the lessons we learned and we took into consideration is that the institutional reform is the main gateway to developing monitoring, evaluation and planning systems. So socio-economic development can be supported through supporting SMEs, as well as creating sustainable job opportunities, improving the investment climate, as well as attracting national and foreign investors through developing the infrastructure and providing facilities and utilities to industrial zones as well as clusters, in addition to encouraging the private sector. And in the cabinet today, we introduced the results of the first quarter of 2025-2026, and the results are very positive, and they prove that the private sector is the engine to development in different important sectors. We will announce the details today in the meeting of the Ministerial Council, and this is in continuation of the economic pathway, as well as the macro fiscal and the macroeconomic stability is so important. We would like to thank the Prime Minister and all ministers for the cooperation and coordination, not only for the success of UELDP but other programs as well. Finally, I would like to extend thanks to the World Bank. I'm so proud of all the programs we are implementing with the World Bank, and also our ability to make changes and to extend the programs due to the mutual trust between us and the bank. When Egypt wants to implement a project or a priority, it really implements it. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Your Excellency Dr. Rania Mashad, for her speech that has emphasized the importance of results-based planning, mobilizing funding, promoting decentralization, and linking it to the national narrative that unites the state's efforts towards comprehensive development based on clear priorities. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give the floor to His Excellency the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, who has led the support of the state to this program since it was launched and made local development a key pillar towards building the new republic. Please, sir, have the floor.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the most merciful, Your Excellencies, ministers, governors, representatives of the World Bank, international organizations and development partners, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you all at this very important national meeting that is the accumulation of long years of efforts, planning, and good governance as a part of the local administration as a part of the Local Administration Reform and Empowerment Forum. This actually indicates the commitment of the state towards developing the most needy regions and enhancing the services quality for the citizens and enable the local communities towards framing their own future and achieve comprehensive and sustainable development. This program for the local development was based on the instructions of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and who said that the development of our Egypt is not only an economic program, but it is rather a mission towards the development of the human being and the empowerment of all the citizens across Egypt. These words constituted the pillar for the establishment of this program. And as my colleagues have indicated, it used to focus on enhancing the public services in addition to making the local administration a key partner towards the implementation of different sustainable local development. I'm really glad that I'm standing here today talking about this program that has turned to be a success story. The colleagues, Dr. Hala and Dr. Hala and the governors currently and the former governors, if you may all recall, and let me tell you that in the beginning it has faced a lot of obstacles. There were many reports issued by different international organizations responsible for this program indicating that it's not a success, and they have asked the Egyptian government to re-engineer and restructure this program towards making a real momentum. As I really remember that we have all worked together as one task force at the Ministers' Council because we all believed in the importance of this project. The technical and I had a technical background joining this project where I used to be working at one of the United Nations agency, and I really know that this project or program is about development and participation, and all the colleagues from different ministers knew that the key challenge not only in Egypt but across the whole world, it is about how to make enabling for the local communities in order to be involved with different state agencies, whether at the centralized level or at the local level represented by the governorates, towards developing a plan reflecting and translating different needs and priorities, and how we can strike balance between centralized plans and national plans towards serving the citizens in these areas. As a matter of fact, I may say that UELDP has started its real launch in 2018. We have started with 2 governorates, but with the great successes achieved, we have started in cooperation with the World Bank, whom I would like to thank, in addition to all other international partners. They all welcome to expand and scale up the program to include 2 other governorates, and we had a very pioneering experience in 4 governorates in Upper Egypt, and we are all now proud that they all represent success stories that we were able to achieve in Egypt. Therefore, UELDP over 7 years was a fully integrated model that is managed in cooperation with different international development partners. It is an Egyptian program that includes different governorates, but of course with technical and financial support from international development partners like the World Bank. Therefore, this program has become a national model for reform and efficient local development. And as a matter of fact, it has included the reform of physical system, economic system, in addition to the investment, as Her Excellency the Minister of Planning and Minister of local development has indicated, and it has also allowed the youth and women to be involved in this development process. It was able to reduce unemployment and increase the efficiency of different public services to make Egypt more ready and prepared for future challenges. The first phase of this program has indicated great success, and about 3.8 million citizens in Egypt were able to benefit from infrastructure services and goods, in addition to direct and indirect job opportunities. The national dialogue and the outputs thereof in 2024 has indicated the importance of decentralization. And in this vision, we have UELDB as a model that has succeeded and that can be replicated. Such an experience helps form the decentralization strategy of the government in order to empower and enable different local administration divisions and departments towards providing more efficient services for the citizens. The instructions of His Excellency the President of the Republic refer to the importance of replicating this program at the level of different governorates in order to be in line with different efforts for reform and development, and to have a greater role assigned to the local administration. As you may all know, UELDB success was not only limited to the local administration, but it was internationally recognized, and it was awarded different international prizes for being a leading model in local administration. And it also reflects the quality of planning and reform in Egypt towards local administration, and therefore it has become a role model to be followed by different countries seeking different solutions for local administration reform. It has also indicated that this is an effective role for empowering the citizens by increasing investments in the governorates and by developing the infrastructure and enhancing economic clusters, and relate this or link it to the international value chains towards creating job opportunities and creating a balanced economic growth, taking into consideration the peculiar nature of each region. As a matter of fact, we are all proud that this project that has started as a pilot program in only 2 governorates has become a national model that we are all aspiring to expand, scale up to be implemented in other governorates. It has become internationally recognized, and it is a key foundation and pillar to be implemented in other governorates, attracting different investments and enhancing local economic clusters. Once again, I would like to reiterate that this success was the outcome of the efforts exerted by the government, local administrations, international development partners, civil society, private sector. It indicates that this success of the local administration is no longer an option, but it is a necessity for a better economy in Egypt and for creating job opportunities for the citizens in different governorates. The continuation of this program as a governmental program in the governorates is a key step towards decentralization, and it is also a key tool for the empowerment of local administration while opening new horizons towards balanced development across the Republic. As I have said and as I have reiterated and reaffirmed, the efforts of the government over the coming period would focus on the transformation from just 4 governorates to replicate this program at the level of all the governorates in Egypt in order to accelerate the steps towards applying decentralization in the management and administration process. As per the instructions of His Excellency the President of the Republic. Also, we have to use innovative financing tools in cooperation with different international development partners to ensure the sustainability of the program and to enhance the local administration ability for implementation. If they are going to be the pioneers of planning and implementation, we would be actually assured about the success of the program. In conclusion, I would like to thank and recognize all those who have worked in this program, and I'm really very proud that some of those who have worked in the program, some of them have been assigned different governmental positions, some have become governors, and some were just Egyptian experts working in Egypt only, and now they have become international experts working in other foreign countries. So I would like to thank all the colleagues, ministers, governors, and staff who have worked at the level of the local administration, because they have all been able to provide a role model for a successful partnership towards the implementation of this program. And once again, I would like to thank all the international development partners, topped by the World Bank, for their continuous and ongoing support that has helped us to scale up this program and maximize the benefit thereof, in addition to all the partners who are going to be cooperating with us over the coming period to further replicate and scale up this project. Thanks a lot.
شكرا دولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء الدكتور مصطفى مدبولي على
Thank you, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, for this speech that emphasized that UELDP is a pioneer project that has become a national role model in enhancing decentralization and supporting regional economic development, as well as drafting public policies based on effective local planning and community participation. Today, of course, is the beginning of an integrated national pathway to reform local administration in cooperation between the government, the private sector, and the international partners to improve public services. Now we would like to invite you to the exhibition at the sidelines of this conference that highlights the efforts and the achievements in the 4 governorates, Qina, Sohag, Asyut, and Minya, as these governorates has become successful pioneer governorates. We would like to thank you, Mr. Prime Minister, for honoring us by being here with us today.